All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second annual Global Goddess Fest. This is a week-long virtual festival to inspire, activate, and connect female leaders, entrepreneurs, and creatives worldwide. So we are so excited for you all to be here. And I'm so excited to have our guest today, Steffani. Oh, yes. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too. And so Steffani is calling in from Chicago in the United States. And it's really fun because we actually met in Greece just a month ago or so on a beautiful sailing trip through the Greek islands with a lot of amazing high-level masters and mistresses of making change in the world and of really doing heart-centered business and inspiring all of those around them. So I'm just super excited to have Steffani here reconnecting and sharing a bit of her magic because she is an epic happiness coach. She's also an international speaker and best-selling author. And you know, when I got to meet her, it was like her energy, she's just like a total sunflower all the time. It's just like, yeah, like things are going crazy on our sailing trip. And she's like, we're good.
Everything's perfect.
Yes, we're talking about happiness. Let's bring it in.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this chick knows exactly what's going on, and this is awesome. And so, you know, her vision that she holds is being surrounded by people that are also like super inspired and just like really taking responsibility for their life and taking the steps and the actions to create their happy life and really, you know, inspiring others to make it possible. So she's really helped a lot of women all around the world to really shift their mindset and transform their relationships and just how they show up in the world. So that way their daily lives are this real true embodiment of what it means to be happy. So she also, when I got to meet her, you know, she talks very highly of her beautiful family, her place in Chicago and the retreats that she gets to take women on, the masterminds we were just talking about. So she's going to really dive in with us today on the theme, which is the mind and connecting. And she's going to be sharing a little bit more about how the mind and the vision, creating the vision of what happiness means. And sharing a little bit of her magic. So Steffani, thank you so much for being here. It's awesome. And yeah, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
No, you said it so well. I love how you put that. Beautiful to be a part of this with you. And I know anything you touch, well, it has magic and gold. So really happy to be a part of this. What a beautiful intention you have for this whole thing. So welcome everyone who's here.
Thank you. And so everyone that's here, you know, I really invite you to actively participate in this conversation, whatever that means for you. So if you need to put anything away, you know, maybe even starting because we're with a happiness coach, like starting with bringing in that feeling of what makes you happy, what brings you happiness. And so Steffani, I'd love to just hear, you know, when you're talking about the different energetic levels, I'm curious how that relates to like what kind of energetic level do you have to be, or like how do you create that to cultivate this vision of happiness?
Good question. I mean, I think there's like two separate things. There's like our energetic minimums and maximums, our energetic levels in different areas of our lives of what we, our beliefs are prepared to align with and attract into our lives. And that can also be, we have energetic levels of happiness. Like we may have put a lid on our happiness. Like we believe we can only be this happy, you know, and never beyond that. You know, we believe we can only experience this much joy and this much fulfillment and this much abundance. And so we have an energetic lid put on some of these things. And so I love to work with my clients and women all over the world on how we can raise our energetic maximums, especially in the areas of happiness in our lives. Because I work with a lot of moms who are like so busy and so we feel as moms. I mean, I have 2 young kids, so I'm still in the thick of it. I totally get it. We feel like we should be happy because we're parents, right? We should be happy because we have these little kids running around, and they bring us a level of love and of joy that we've never found before, but we can still be 90% of the time not happy because it's all about our thoughts, right? And it's not our circumstances. It's not how our kids are or what our house looks like or, you know, where we're growing up or what is going on. It's all about our thoughts. So we can find and choose happiness and raise our energetic maximums in our happy lives and our joy when we really focus on it, when we're really aware of it.
So would you say that just being aware of the like energetic holds that we have, would that help break through? Or
yeah, I think it's really, number one, awareness is the key. It's the fast track to discipline. It's a fast track to getting into a life that you really want is awareness, right? So awareness alone can totally change that. Like the minute that I am aware of my energetic maximums and minimums in my financial life, I can then raise it up. The minute I'm aware of my energetic maximum and minimum in my relationship, I can change it. But I do think there's more that goes along with it. Like just being aware of it is one big, huge leap. But then what I love to do is like use an exercise to consciously raise that maximum. So for me, a lot of times an exercise I'd use is like music. You know, I have music that I'd use to raise my energetic maximum in my relationship. There's music that I use to raise my energetic maximum in my financial life. There's music that I use to just get me ready for like overflow and abundance in my life. So music or like a grounding exercise, like I think it's so beautiful to make little rituals and things like that mean more, right? So, you know, if there's something that no longer serves you, you can write it down and burn it, right? You can rip it up. You can put your fears into a rock and like throw it into the river, into the water. You can like bathe in the water and just let everything go. Like if we're more conscious about making those things meaningful, we can make any day like a day that I raised my maximum of this, or a day that I never tolerated this any longer, or a day that I never ate another French fry or piece of meat. You know, we can make anything more significant because we can put little, I love to use just little rituals or ceremonies or just powerful, make it a little more powerful and meaningful around anything. So to raise my energetic maximum, not only would I want to be aware of it, I'd want to do some sort of like grounding exercise or thing around it. And then I would want to start acting as if it was already that way, right? That's how I get like the subconscious on board, is to act as if it's already that way. So if it's in your relationship, it's like you book those date nights. You start showing up as that person that's really in love. If it's with your financial life, you go out to dinner, maybe you upgrade to first class, like, or maybe you at least fantasize about it all. You plan the next trip, you know, before you can even afford it. Like you get into that space of already having it. That's a beautiful way to help raise that maximum and call it in.
I love that. Yeah. It resonates so much because I think so often we're like trying to like grasp something outside of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a interesting thing of just like, what if you just raise it a little bit? You don't have to like totally like be upset that you're not like this far out of it, but like understanding, okay, well, this is my comfort zone. So if I just stretch it just a little bit at a time.
That's a really good point. You're right. Because sometimes like taking that huge leap just means like, no way, I can't get there. You know, our subconscious mind goes, no way, you can't have all that. You can't have it all. So the little baby steps of stretching it is so important. That's
Mm,
huge.
cool. And so you talk about these 6 steps to manifesting your ideal vision life. So
Yeah.
are these some of the steps, or do you want to go into the steps?
Yeah, we could just go into the steps. So, step one, I notice a lot of people, if they've heard about or dabbled in the law of attraction, there's, ask, believe, receive is kind of the general steps to the law of attraction. And I've been working with and teaching the law of attraction for almost 30 years. And I grasp that, I get that, but it's also not like as tangible and as clearly doable for me. So when I really started teaching workshops and applying this and using it to enhance my life, I started breaking down, like, what do I do exactly? What is the magic formula that I've been using to make it happen that's like a tangible formula? So for me, step one is getting clear on the end result of what you're after. So ask is like ask for what you want. But for me, you can't just ask for the how. You can't ask for, I want this job with this company. Like, that's a how. You need to ask for the end result of what you're after. And even more importantly, the end result feeling place of what you're after. So if it's a new job that you're after, if it's financial freedom that you're after, what is that feeling? Is it a feeling of fulfillment? Is it a feeling of abundance? Is it a feeling of freedom? So what's that end result that you're after? When I first, before I started my coaching business, I had another business where I hosted speakers in Chicago. It was called Positive Focus Productions, and I hosted big names, authors and speakers in Chicago. And before I started that, I got clear on my end result. My end result was, I want to help more people understand that life is not about suffering. And I want to help them find more daily happiness. So if that's my end result, that can happen through starting this Positive Focus Productions company. That can happen through my own speaking. That can happen through the book I launched. That can happen through my masterminds. That can happen through this program. There's so many ways that can happen. So if I was sitting there going, no, I want to do this one thing, I want to open this one business, that's not exactly it. Like, let the universe find the avenues, focus on the end result. So step one for me in my formula is to get clear on the end result, on the general end result, so that the universe can find the other avenues to how you can make it happen. Yeah. So step two, I try to kind of reverse engineer things and like hack things as much as I can. So step two for me is to get excited and know that it will come. Like step two already, I'm like, okay, woo, this is in my life. I got it. It's here. Like, done. It's already happening. That for me is the art of really getting aligned with it, right? So get excited and know that it will come. And one thing we did in Greece that people can do, a wonderful process, is to do a future poll, like polling in the future. Remember when we did that?
Yeah.
And talking about it as if it's already happened. So we could be talking about the 1,000,000 women that are at your Global Goddess event, and how it has served the world in such a big way, and that the ripple effect that it's created, and all of those women's children and girls, they're all being enhanced by the incredible teachings that are here. We talk about it as if it's already happened, and it's a fun thing to do, right?
So fun.
So for me, that's what I do, is like, I do a lot of future polls in my head, to myself, with my friends, with my family, with whoever will future poll with me. And now we can future poll anytime. Like, you can message me on Facebook, like, oh my gosh, we just met our 100,000th women who signed up for whatever. And I'll be like, woohoo! And I won't know whether it's real or not. It doesn't matter, right? It's about getting excited and getting into that space. So I love to share processes. So another process that I use to get into that space is, like, if I'm getting in the shower and I'm getting ready, I pretend like I'm getting ready for this big speaking gig, or I pretend like I'm hosting my first Zoom call for the 20 women that signed up for my next mastermind, so use my shower time for like visualizing and getting excited that this is happening, right? It's a beautiful process that's so simple and easy. And I can use it to play out little things like, oh, that conversation with that teacher, with my kid's teacher went so well, or, oh, that sexy date night with my husband went amazing. Like you can use it for little and big, but why not go for the big, because that is the magnet that's going to pull you through those other things too. So getting excited, getting excited and know that it will come as step 2. And then step 3 is to change your thoughts by any means possible. Because, and this is what people have the biggest problem with usually, is they are like, yeah, sure. Yeah, but I call them these yeah, buts. Yeah, but, I don't really know. I don't know how to do that. I can't do that. I'm too old to do that. I'm not in a place to do that. I know I can't have that and that. It's like we immediately go to our self-doubt and we immediately think there's no way that we can make that happen. So here we got excited and knew that it would come. Like, just like when you place an order on Amazon, it's coming like a day later. We should do that with our desires. Like, desire it, align with it, receive it. Desire it, align with it, receive it. That's what we should do. But instead, we desire it and we start aligning with it. And then we go, no. And we cancel the order. We pull it back because our thoughts goes, you don't deserve that. There's no way you can have all that. That can't happen because you live here. That can't happen because look at this data, look at the statistics. No way. Like, we immediately start overthinking things and canceling the order. Like, you have to just think that your thoughts create. And so your thoughts have to be aligned with what you do want. So that step 3 in my formula is to change your thoughts by any means possible, meaning align them with what you do want. And so how do we change our thoughts? Like, I have an entire 21-day program teaching people every day for 21 days, different tools you can use to change your thoughts. But for me, there's some simple little things. Like, one is creating a cancel process. Like, I use right now, erase, replace. Or I use cancel, or stop, cancel, clear. I have nothing to fear. All I love is here. Or I just turn it around and say, what do I want? What do I want? Oops, I'm going down that way. So what do I want? There's so many ways we can change our thoughts. And it's a really powerful thing to learn, is how to change our thoughts. Because our thoughts have to get on board. That's why affirmations work. That's why visualizing and meditating and surrounding yourself with more positive people works. All of that works to change our thoughts and get our subconscious on board. Because that getting excited and knowing it will come, and then changing and aligning our thoughts, those are both ways to align, and those are both ways to believe that which we want is coming into our lives. And the belief piece is so important.
Mm-hmm.
So changing our thoughts is so key. How do you change your thoughts most often if your thoughts are going in a place you don't want them to go?
Usually music.
Mm-hmm.
Music, and then I find that it's usually somewhere stuck in my body, and so I use dance very, very often. Sometimes I just need to get in my physical body, depending on what I'm trying to change, what direction I need to go in. Maybe I'll go for a run if I need to get like really amped up, or if I need to like really deeply release something, I'll go run up like the steepest hill I can find and just power through.
Gorgeous.
Or if I'm dancing,
state, and your thought comes along with a shift in your state, your thoughts come along. So you can't be like focused on something negative and do a cartwheel or run up a steep hill, because it's going to shift physically your state. That's going to get your thoughts on board. Yeah. Like, your state is the light switch to your thoughts changing. So beautiful. Those are great ideas. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. What were we on? Step 1 was to focus on the end result of what you really do want. Step 2 is to get excited and know it will come. Step 3 is to change your thoughts by any means possible. And step 4 is to be grateful and appreciate everything along the way. Like, gratitude is the quickest and easiest shift, right? It is like the fastest way to shift your thoughts. Be grateful. So a quick and easy thing, what am I grateful for? Like, you just immediately shift into gratitude and you will start aligning. Getting excited aligns you, changing your thoughts aligns you, and gratitude aligns you. So we could talk for days about different gratitude processes. And I think the most important thing is everyone understands how gratitude can highly affect our lives and how important it is. And I would say 9 out of 10 people don't do it. It's just really doing it, finding a gratitude practice that works for you, doing it first thing in the morning or at night or throughout the day, whatever works, ideally all of that, and sticking to it, creating a new gratitude practice that's a daily habit, more than once a day, as often as possible, just soaking in and bathing in gratitude and appreciation, which is, they say is even more powerful than gratitude, is just appreciation. Because for me, this step 4, the gratitude and appreciation piece, is so much about radically accepting our lives as they are right now. And if you want to be happier, be happy where you are, just like be grateful and appreciate all the abundance you have to attract more abundance. Be grateful and appreciate all the love you have to attract more love. Be grateful and appreciate all of the connections and the friendship and the support you have to create more of that. So gratitude and appreciation is a powerful one. Step 5 is get happy. And that, for me, is the art of allowing. So I went to an Abraham Hicks workshop like 20 years ago almost. And I was like so into law of attraction and into manifesting my life. And this was called the Art of Allowing workshop. And I was like, okay, awesome. There's things that I haven't allowed in yet that I want. And I know that I want them. And I'm not trying to figure out the how. I'm focused on the end result and I'm trying to make it happen. And let me see just, what do I need to do? Is it like, I need to like feng shui my house. I need to have a crystal over here. I need to like, meditate for more than so many seconds on a certain feeling. Do I need to, what is it? Like, tell me. And the whole thing was about just how happy can you be? And I was like, oh, yes, like, yay. It's so simple, but also so hard, like how happy can you be? Your happiness, how happy you can be is equal to the amount of what you'll attract into your life, period. And you don't have to be happy necessarily in your job to create a new job. It does help. The happier and more appreciative you are of your job, you can attract better things in your job in the future. But you can just be happy eating a blueberry muffin and petting a dog. Like you can just be happy, doing the cartwheel and running up the hill. Like those things work to attract in, to allow in your desires. So your happiness is important. And I don't think enough people take responsibility for their happiness. They think it has to do with other people and with circumstances when it doesn't. It's like in this space right now, I can be in a really happy state. And so I can take my power back. And I can find a way to do that through some of the things that you mentioned. We can get in that happy state, music and movement and gratitude. And there's so many things we can do to shift. One thing I teach all of my clients to do and share in my book and stuff is about just creating a happy list. Because years ago, and I've always been sort of a happiness coach, but years ago when I had young babies, I wasn't that happy. And I was like, oh, okay, things have changed. I have a new mountain in front of me and I have to figure out how to be happy in a totally different way. Because the things that I used to do that made me happy without kids don't work with kids anymore. And I think we just go through these, adjustments throughout our lives. The things that work in our 20s don't work in our 30s, don't work in our 40s, right? And so I created a happy list and I had to look at it often and do things on it to make my days happier. And so now I do many of those things first thing in the morning. So I'm setting up my day for success. And then I do them throughout the day and I try and work them into my week as much as possible. And there's still times when I'm like pulling away from that happy list and I'm like, uh-oh, reel it back in. So a really fun practice is creating a happy list of, what is your recipe for happiness? Like what brings you a lot of joy in your day? What can you do? Little things and big things that just really make you happy, because everyone's list is going to be different, right? Like on my happy list, some things might be pretty general, like going outside, being in the sunshine, being in nature. Not everybody, right? Listening to great music. Like for me, it's like drinking red wine and eating dark chocolate. Like those are on my happy list, along with a lot of other things. And a friend of mine, she loves to like shop. She loves to decorate. She loves to organize. Those are on my not happy list. Those drain me. They don't fill me. And so it's so amazing. It's like, wow, her list is so different. And I have like very low battery for stuff like that on that list. So even when I make a list of what fills me up and what makes me feel joy, I can combine that with anything that I don't like. So if I am shopping, I'm listening to a podcast, or if I'm doing the dishes, I'm listening to some music, or, go shopping with a friend. That would help fill me up, right? Because that's on my happy list. So we can create a happy list, do as many things first thing in the morning as we possibly can, do things throughout the day, like really own that list and see how different our regular day is from that happy list, and see how many things we can tick off on that happy list per day. That's how we allow in these desires. And use that happy list to shift your day. If you're having a crummy day, it's because I promise you, you've done nothing on that list yet. And use those things to combine with anything that you don't love, so that you can really turn those things around. Now, that alone is like allowing in all these desires more and more and more. And the last thing is step 6, is to take inspired action. Like, you can't just sit here and do all these things and not act, right? I think that's the biggest thing that, like, the law of attraction or that movie, The Secret, like, got, people were discouraged about, because it didn't talk about action. So for me, it's all about downstream actions. Like, take actions that feel good. Take inspired action that is aligned with your desires. Don't try and struggle. That's not getting you to the end result, which is all downstream. Let go of the oars, but take action on things that really feel good. And for me too, I had to decipher like the difference between my head chatter and my heart guidance. So I always think about inspired action is also heart guidance. So follow my heart guidance, follow the yes, follow the feel good, follow the inspiration, not the data and the reality and the, people who, don't think it can happen. Don't follow any of that head chatter. Follow your heart guidance and just action that feels good. That is my beautiful formula that I love to share, because it's helped me just create everything I've ever wanted in my life, in all different areas of my life, from, easy, natural childbirth to this amazing house on the lake and our lake house, to, the home that I live in now, to the relationship that I have, to the 6-figure business I have. Like, everything I use this formula, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And this is all possible. Like, I just want everyone to know that you can have it all, for whatever having it all looks like for you. And if you step into these steps, it can really help you get there a lot faster.
So beautiful. Thank you for sharing that process. And sure. I think, I'm sure the viewers feel similar, but I'm just like, oh, that inspired action. Like, this is what helps me get inspired. Like, I know as soon as this call is over, I'm going to go make my happy list. Like, I'm
good.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, good. That's a powerful one. I hope you will do it. And everyone here, do that happy list. It's really, really a powerful piece, because that's why I'm a happiness coach, because I think that happiness is such a huge key. It's how we can really get to all of our desires. And yet we think that it's that, then we'll be happy. It's like, get happy now. And we can create and attract and align with and allow in everything that we ideally want.
Yeah, such amazing nuggets, and a great system to be able to use for those that maybe aren't feeling like, oh, I'm not at my prime happiness, which is probably 99.9 of the people on the planet,
totally.
Most days, and so being able to figure out the structure, so that way you can just kind of go through the list, go through the process. So super helpful. And so everyone that's watching, these are amazing tools that we definitely believe in, and I hope you can feel the energy behind it. Like, it's so real of what is possible. And so go do that. Go do these steps. Take your part in receiving this information and doing your part with it. And so Steffani also, for everyone that's watching, she's going to be giving a free gift of the Badass Morning Routine, which is a free training to customize your morning routine and really optimize your life. So
yeah, so you can include as many things on your happy list into this morning routine as possible. Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah.
I
Great.
love it. So there will be a link for that right under this video. So make sure you grab that because, this is like the value that happiness holds in our life is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure sometimes when I'm working with clients, we're creating this vision of what could be possible, and I think it's also important to highlight, what would happen if you don't step into this,
Mm-hmm.
and really like maybe feel into that life. What would happen if you never felt like fully happy in your life?
Yeah. What would happen if I never took action on my dreams and on my joy? Absolutely. And I see too many people doing that, just like waking up in Groundhog Day every day. The same things are happening, the same things are not fulfilling them. And it can get pretty depressing. It can just be a really stagnant life. And so many people feel stuck and so many people feel unfulfilled. And I think that's why, we're not really pursuing our dreams. We're not really finding our own happiness and taking action toward our own happiness, taking responsibility and, making it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, I just think it's such a beautiful topic. And for anyone that maybe is feeling that way, because I know most people, are in a pretty difficult situation these days. There's a lot of shifts and changes happening globally. And so for everyone that's watching, you were guided to be here in this moment, to watch this video, to receive Steffani's guidance. So if that isn't like the total like green light, go, do these things now, I don't know what is. So take the next 5 minutes after this video and please do this for yourself. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, get others to be inspired by it, and see how maybe it shifts not only yourself, but those that are close to you. And then who knows what will happen from there. So just starting to really take that responsibility of creating that ripple wherever you're at in the world.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So awesome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the Global Goddess Fest. Stay tuned for the other amazing videos, the other awesome guests that we have coming on, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much, Steffani.
Thank you. It's beautiful to be here. Thank you.